Welcome to another episode of Retrospection. This time it's a no-holds-barred one-round knockout as we display some fancy footwork with Arena from 1989. My name's Colin, and remember, I hate your guts.
I always remember that, Colin. How long's it been now? 40 years? I'll never forget that.
That's not a line from the film, is it?
I thought you were just talking to me, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
And my name's Paul, and listen to me. You're a very rude young man.
Well, you said young, so you can't be talking to me.
That's why I said young.
Yeah, you emphasised that on purpose just to dig it in, didn't you?
Yeah, just a little bit. Just a little bit.
Yeah, thought so. Yeah. Now, TMDB says an intergalactic fighting competition between champions of various worlds has traditionally been won by a species much larger and stronger than humans. Entering the contest, a human finds he has to battle against not just his opponents and his self-doubts, but the corrupt system.
That sounds amazing.
It does.
That sounds like a proper movie, movie.
I had to double check it. Make sure I didn't accidentally Googled the wrong film.
There are rather a lot of films called Arena.
There are, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Are any of them as good as this, though?
Or maybe we should do a podcast where we watch every film called Arena.
The Arena podcast.
Yeah.
People might just think it's me and you, like in the Star Trek episode, fighting in that big arena. I'll bet 50 quadrilles on.
You're gonna get your
on the
shirt
weird
ripped.
guy. Yeah. Oh, of course.
Yeah.
I mean, if one of us was going to be Shatner, it would be me, wouldn't it?
You have the girth.
You're more of a Spock guy, aren't you?
I am, yes.
Yeah. Cold and unfeeling.
Oh yeah, but inside there's emotion. Spock's doesn't. Let's get this right. Spock has emotion, he just suppresses it. Unemotionally, I will continue with the credits. The film stars Paul Satterfield as Steve Armstrong, or as I prefer, budget blonde Christopher Reeve.
He really does, doesn't he?
He does, yeah.
He is like Christopher Reeve if you ordered him from Wish.
Yeah.
That is exactly what he's like.
Yeah. Claudia Christian as Quinn from Babylon 5.
Of course.
Hamilton Camp as Shorty.
Wasn't that the nom de plume that you went by in college?
Which
Hamilton
one?
Camp.
Oh, I thought you meant Shorty.
Yeah. No, Hamilton Camp. No, that was me, obviously.
Yeah.
Hamilton Camp.
That's what I did my poetry.
Yeah, with the cravat and I remember that. Yeah, I remember that. Whatever happened to him? I missed that version.
Do you?
Yeah. Bring it back.
He's somewhere in a pastoral landscape, painting nudes.
Of course he is.
Against their will.
Whoa, hold on a minute. All right, Ted Bundy.
He's not real. It's a fictional world. Is it?
Oh, so yeah. Well, I remember when you used to talk about the heads in the fridge.
But it was your head.
Trying to get me out of the fridge.
Oh, that's true. You're always in there, stealing my food.
No. I used to go around looking for booze. I never stole your food, Colin.
That's true.
I remember you had that. Was it that bottle of brandy that you had under the kitchen sink, and it was like ancient?
Mm.
That was it. Was it brandy or was it vodka? I can't remember.
Probably wasn't brandy. I'm not really a brandy drinker.
You had a bottle of something under your kitchen sink for
It's probably domestos, and you're too drunk to even notice. You probably just glugged it back.
Hey, I'm still kicking.
That's drain cleaner. Doesn't matter. I've drunk worse.
Yeah.
All right.
Call me Withnell.
We're doing the credits with Withnell. Mark Alamo as Rogar and Armin Shimmerman as Weasel. And both of those are from
Star Trek Deep Space Nine.
Yeah, they have a little double act, really, in Deep Space Nine, and I guess they're doing this film too.
Yeah, so there's like the Babylon 5 connection, Star Trek connection, and of course the Beauty and the Beast connection, Colin. Don't forget that one.
What's the Beauty and the Beast connection?
Armin Shimmerman played Pascal in Beauty and the Beast.
That's right. I'm sure that's on his IMDb. Against his
I'm
wishes.
sure he's proud of it.
Yeah, he probably is, yeah. And Shari Shattuck as Jade, who also performs a song in the film Living in the Galaxy and did appear in an episode of Babylon 5.
Yeah, we'll talk about that, won't we, when we get there?
We will.
I'm sure.
Directed by Peter Manoogian.
If you like.
Yeah. An American
Yes.
director who worked on Dungeon Master, The Howling, but for some reason more recently on EastEnders, Holby City and Doctors. That's an odd
Yeah.
turn.
That
isn't
is
it?
bizarre, isn't it? That is a bit of a strange detour in your career, isn't it?
It's one of those things where you look at it and go, has IMDb made a mistake here?
I mean, if it was the other way around and it was the start of your career and then you moved on to like feature movies, then I'd understand it.
Well, at least it's in America. It's the same country.
I suppose. That's just not EastEnders. I mean, that is a bit weird, isn't it?
Yeah. Produced by Empire Pictures, who are the forerunner of Full Moon Productions, your favourite.
Makes sense. Makes sense. Why have we not done a full moon movie yet? We need to do one, don't we?
I mean, apart from the obvious answer.
Oh, come on. We could do a Puppet Master.
We could do, yeah. All right.
Put it on the list. Put it
All
on the
right,
list.
we will do. Released to rent in the UK by Entertainment in Video on 18th of October 1989. And is this a film you've seen before? And did you see it back in 89?
I think I rented it out, yes.
Right, because I don't remember this film at all.
You don't? No.
I just find it odd that I didn't watch it back then.
I've got a copy of it on DVD, Colin.
Yeah.
I'm not going to buy it if I didn't know what it was, am I? You know,
Well, that's
let's
true.
face it. Yeah.
Do you have anything else?
A lot of the sets in this movie were repurposed from other movies, particularly a movie called Robot Jocks.
Now that I remember.
Yeah, well, there you go.
It's JOX, right?
That's right, yeah.
Yeah.
Better movie than this? Who knows?
Well, I guess one day we're going to find out.
We definitely will.
Yeah.
So this movie reportedly cost about $2 million to make. But I couldn't, and I really looked, I couldn't find any information anywhere on what the box office numbers were. So I'm guessing it was just because it was released straight to video.
That was going to be my question. Like, did it even see a cinema?
I wouldn't have thought so. I mean, but then again, who knows?
Yeah.
And the only other thing I was going to mention was that many of the creature voices, they were done by a guy called Frank Welker. I don't even know this actor, but he's worked on Transformers. He does the voice of Megatron in Transformers. He's done Scooby-Doo, Futurama. He was the voice of Nibbler. Do you remember Nibbler in Futurama? And one of your personal favourites, Animaniacs.
Oh, nice. Good voice artist then.
He's a legendary voice actor. Yeah. But there isn't really a lot of information about this film, and I'm sure there's a reason for that. Yeah, so I guess we'll find out why.
I guess we will, but before we begin, I'd just like to say, when I'm out climbing the Matterhorn and hammering my next life-saving crampon into its solid, unforgiving face, I like to calm my nerves by listening to a certain podcast.
Oh, this one?
Oh, my poor misguided co-host. No, I'm talking about CD Bimco.
Well, that's a podcast.
It does sound like a medical complaint. Oh, you won't believe how bad my CD Bibcos have been, but yes, it's a podcast.
What's it about?
Well, I'll let them tell you about it.
I'm George O'Connor, the New York Times bestselling author of The Olympians and Asgardians.
I'm Tim Hamilton, cartoonist for The New Yorker.
Here at SETI BIMCO, we watch movies of dubious quality and fabricate revenge sequels for them that they never had before.
We also have fun games such as George's current currency kerner.
Diapers in 1960 cost $1. What do you think they would cost today, Tim?
$4.
Wrong!
SETI BIMCO, Part 2, The Revenge, every Wednesday, any place you listen to podcasts.
Oh, I'm excited to give that a listen.
No, don't worry. I'll ruin that excitement by carrying on with our look at Arena from 1989.
Welcome to my world.
The arena.
We've been saying for years that no human has got the guts to fight in the arena.
A test of courage.
I can do it.
It ain't gonna work. This guy's a human.
I can go all the way.
A battle for glory.
They're calling for you. They believe in you.
You could go right to the top.
A struggle for power.
You will be champion.
You will work for me.
Nobody tells me what to do.
A game of treachery.
Someone tried to poison him. Your fighting days are over.
I can win.
Right. You won't beat
A fight to the death.
Now we kill him.
It's gonna kill him. Stop it.
Arena.
We get a view of space as a ship flies through and we hear shouting, and there's some epic music, right?
Yeah, it's kind of a bit James Horner-ish, isn't it?
It is at this point, yeah.
There's a little bit of Wrath of Khan coming through there, I can hear.
Yeah, and there's something else later I'll mention.
Oh, absolutely. Got to say, check out the matte lines on some of these spaceships. They're amazing, aren't they?
Oh, you like a good matte line, don't you?
I do. You know what? I like to think of it as having. It's not a matte line. It's the force field around the ships as they're flying through space.
It keeps the atmosphere in.
Absolutely.
Yeah. It's funny because this is in HD because it's a Blu-ray release, but for some reason during these scenes, and maybe it's because it's a dupe of the original negative, the quality of the whole screen deteriorates. But that actually helps the special effects. So I was thinking to myself, is this one of those films where it probably would play better on videotape?
Oh, absolutely. This was not a movie that was designed for HD.
No, does it no really? Favours.
Not at all. Not at all. No.
Yeah.
It was interesting to see Charles Band's name pop up in the credits.
Isn't he a producer for Empire Pictures?
He produced Dungeon Master.
Yeah. Right.
And he produced Metal Storm, the other movie that we keep talking about, but we've never actually done yet.
Right.
So he's got prior, let's say.
Yes, he does.
You know?
Yeah. Yeah. We close in on a space station, and there's a huge fighting arena and a robot. Is it a robot? It's called Spinner.
There's a brain in there with eyes.
That's what they say about you, isn't it?
That's very funny, Colin. Yeah.
And then there's a creature called Horn as well, right?
Oh God, there is a creature called Horn. Yes.
And they're fighting in an arena surrounded by a baying crowd. But in the long shot, is it just me, or does this look like paper cutouts moved up and down in the long shot?
I actually think the long shot looked quite good.
No, were you wearing your glasses?
Yeah, I was, and I'd had the lights on in the room and everything when I was watching it.
Watch it again. I'm pretty confident that it's just paper cutouts.
Oh, maybe, I don't know. I didn't watch it on. You watched a Blu-ray quality, didn't you? So
yes.
That's why it looks worse. I watched my DVD.
Oh, okay.
So I was watching it in slightly worse quality than you, I would imagine. So to me, it looked okay.
All right.
I'm already getting from this opening fight and the way it looks and everything. I get lots of vibes from this movie, but one that popped into my head, which was a strange one, was Terrorhawks for some reason.
Ooh, I would never have guessed that.
I can imagine this being done as a puppet show.
Well, yeah, paper cutouts, like I said. Bloody is a puppet show in a long shot.
I guess, yeah.
Anything else? You said you got lots of vibes, so you went with that.
Yeah, I'll mention the other vibes as we get along.
Okay, all right. Okay, you're going to reveal your vibes.
Always. Usually it's just something that I show to you, Colin.
I know, this is a new bit of the show where Paul just drip feeds vibes.
I don't know about dripping.
Well, you made it seem seedy now.
You really want me to drip my vibes, Colin?
No.
No. Nobody wants that.
No. In a snack bar, and that's not a guy from Star Wars, our hero, Steve Armstrong, is fouling up on the food orders while watching the fight on TV.
Yeah, this is a big sporting event, isn't it?
A massive sporting event, apparently.
Massive, yeah. Mm-hmm.
His boss, Shorty, who has 4 arms.
I like how the extra arms are just accomplished by someone poking their arms through like holes in his coat.
Yes. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Not for the first time am I starting to also get, and this is another vibe, Star Wars Holiday Special vibes from this.
Because of all the random creatures and stuff.
Yeah, and little other things later, yes.
All right. Do you think manicurists love this guy when he comes in?
Oh, he's a mark, isn't he? As soon as he walks through that door,
Yeah.
you know, they've clocked him. They're fighting over who's going to work on him, aren't they?
Absolutely, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He's having trouble with some of the customers, right?
Yeah, they're getting a bit mouthy and a little bit leery. Yeah.
Yeah.
Typical sportsman. You know, let's face it, no sportsman listen to us, so we can say what we like. You know.
Well, yeah, okay. Well, you can. I'll leave it to you.
I knew that was coming.
Back at the arena, we see Quinn and Troy. Now, Quinn, I have no idea who they're rooting for. This film doesn't do a really good job of telling me which side they're rooting for, whether it's the robot or Mr. Horny.
Yeah, because they're showing out the names of people, but you don't actually know which is which at this point.
No, because it's like Spinner, and you're like, which one's Spinner? Because none of them are spinning.
Although Horn does have horns.
He does, yeah. So you think that's a clue?
I guess, but I mean, this movie's aimed at kids, really, isn't it?
That's why we're having trouble understanding it.
Yeah.
It's above our pay grade.
Oh, of course, yeah.
So Spinner's losing, right?
He is. He's getting the proverbial shit kicked out of him.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We also learned that there's a handicap system.
Yeah, I like this. I think this is a good idea.
Really? Does it? Okay. Did you think about it for more than a second?
Well, no.
Okay. Well, let's talk about that later.
Right.
So it's a light, either blue or red, shines down and diminishes the strength of a fighter to balance out any differences between them.
Yeah.
We have the same system for this podcast.
Dread to ask who's being brought to what level.
Oh, I'm being brought down to yours.
So you're being brought down to mine.
Yeah.
Is that right?
It's a humour handicap system.
Oh, that's a bit below the belt, to use a fighting terminology there, isn't it, Colin? See, I'm switched on tonight. I'm on it.
You are? Yeah. Well, you are wearing your boxing dressing gown.
I am. I'm ready. Come on.
I know. Really? Hold on. Round one.
I can catch a chicken.
But what's that got to do with anything?
That's Rocky does, isn't it? He runs around after chickens and picks them up. I could do that.
Yeah, you could. Yeah, you have done too.
Of course. I've caught many a chicken.
Yeah. Rogar, our main villain, is up to something. He gets his assistant Weevil to inject Han with something, right? I'm a bit...
steroidy type thing or something? Yeah.
Yeah. And then Han throws his opponent into the crowd. Now, you inject him with a steroid to make him, what, stronger?
I guess so, yeah.
So the handicap system is not dynamic then. It can't adjust for something that's happening suddenly.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, because maybe you have to fine-tune it if something changes.
Right. So it starts off whatever, and then it can't be changed.
Or maybe there doesn't seem to be anyone controlling it, though, does there?
It's a computer, isn't it? Because they talk about
it
hacking
is, isn't it? Yeah, they do. Yeah, you're right, Colin. It's bullshit. It doesn't make sense, does it? I'll give you that one. It's a nice idea, though, if it was done properly.
Yeah.
In a better movie.
Yeah. Yeah. The crowd goes wild and fighting breaks out, right?
It does.
Quinn is angry and knows that something is wrong, but she's not sure what. But she's going to complain to the commissioner because apparently there's this big Uber boss who's the commissioner of the fighting arena.
I'll tell you what, Claudia Christensen is really being professional here. She's taking it 100% seriously. You can see she's really putting a performance in this movie.
Yeah, are you suggesting the other people are not?
No, I'm suggesting that maybe they're not quite on her level, is what I'm suggesting.
Oh, okay.
Especially cut price Christopher Reeve.
Yes.
But we'll get to him, I'm sure.
So there's a restaurant, fight breaks out, back at the snack bar, that is, with one of the customers, Vang.
Yes.
Steve fights him, and we learn that Steve is a human,
Mm-hmm.
and then he manages to knock Vang through a window, and he gets fired for it.
Typical Friday night in Wigan Town Centre, eh, Colin?
It is, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You've been thrown through windows in the time, haven't you?
Yeah, I've passed through a few frames here and there, yeah.
A weird way of saying it.
Well, you know.
Who talks like that? What happened to you? Oh, I was passed through a frame. You mean a window? Yeah.
I'm going all David Lynch. In honour. You know.
Oh, were you thrown backwards? And
I was.
No. You were thrown the other way, and the window repaired itself.
Absolutely. And then halfway through this podcast, we'll change characters.
We usually do.
We do.
Yeah. Shorty and Steve leave, and Steve has no job and could be departed from the space station. I kept forgetting this was set on a space station.
Yeah, and it's a weird space station as well, because when we get the outside shot of it, there's no ships around it. There's no ships docked in it. It's just a space station floating in space. So how do these people get there?
Yeah, in fairness, do you ever have that about Star Trek?
I suppose, but I suppose we get the Enterprise. I mean, in Deep Space Nine, they had docking ports, didn't they, where you did see ships docked in.
Yeah, but what I mean in Star Trek is they visit a planet that's got ships and stuff, but the Enterprise is always the only ship orbiting the planet.
That is true. Yeah, I get that. Yeah, okay, all right.
So he wants to get back to Earth. So this was another thing. There's no year mentioned in this, right? This film.
No, never once.
Okay.
Never once, no.
So I had to adjust and think, okay, so humans know about this space station, so it must be either far in the future or it's just a total alternative reality type thing.
Yeah, I'm guessing that they're probably going for far in the future. I mean, I'm already getting another vibe that I'm getting from it is a kind of a Buck Rogers vibe. It feels like an episode of Buck Rogers. So set in 25th century, 26th century or something like that.
So here's another question. Was it originally a space station, or did they hire the actors and think, oh, all these actors have worked in shows with space stations?
Well, I'm guessing. I mean, it was shot in '88 and didn't come out till '91, did it? So I'm guessing none of them had done it yet. So maybe it was the other way around. Maybe they got
typecast as people who only work on space stations.
Yeah, and I mean, let's face it. I mean, Shimmerman was Quark in Deep Space Nine, another role that required full face makeup. Yeah, so, he's the guy you go to.
I guess so, yeah. So Steve finds out he's lost his home, right? Because apparently if you lose your job, everybody instantly knows.
Mm-hmm.
And he has to sleep at Shorty's place. Meanwhile, back with Quinn, they realise they can't afford to fix Spinner. Do they? Kill him?
I think they just let him go. He's probably out there just drinking himself to death afterwards, isn't he?
I didn't know you had been a fighter.
I'm always fighting, Colin.
Yes, that's true.
Fighting life, yeah.
Yeah.
That was dark, wasn't it? I didn't like this close-up shot of Spinner's stump spurting liquid. I didn't like that at all.
I enjoyed it.
Did you rewind it a few times? Rewind it. Wow. All right.
Well, it's fitting for the film.
You know what I mean? Yeah. I didn't like that.
Oh. We learn that Vang works with Quinn. He's a fighter in the arena for them because she's like a manager, right?
Yeah, she's a manager stroke promoter, I would say.
Yes. Yeah, I'll go with that. And then I forgot the name of the person that's with her. He's like the coach, right?
Yeah, he's the coach who, we'll get to it, but he doesn't like what's going to happen and then comes around at the end, doesn't he? Kind of.
Right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So we've got all these stereotypes, all these sort of arena-based boxing, kung fu, karate. Because, I mean, these movies were big in the 80s, weren't they? Karate Kid, Bloodsport, see previous episode. Rocky, I think we've even done a Rocky movie, haven't we? Done Rocky 4 at one point?
Yeah, we did,
in the day?
Yeah.
So these were big movies.
You made that sound like the subtitle of Rocky 4, back in the day.
Back in the day, yeah.
On the way to Shorty's, they run into Marcus, who is the last human champion from 50 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Now, Steve Armstrong is a fan of Marcus's, and he came to the station to fight, but now he doesn't want to anymore because it's not a true fight. It's always rigged or whatever. Now, there hasn't been a human champion for 50 years because at one point, the sports commentator says because humans are weak.
Yeah.
But there's a handicap system. So
maybe this old champion guy realizes what you've realized and that this whole thing is rigged and doesn't work properly.
Yeah.
And that's why there hasn't been a champion since he's done it. Yeah.
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 Well, all right. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Shorty has 27 kids. That's 3 more than you.
I'm not that prolific.
Shorty finds his home unlocked, and we get music now that sounds like something from Blade Runner. It's like Vangelis.
Yeah, I mean, it's Vangelis if all he had to work with was a Casio keyboard, I suppose.
It was 1989, probably did.
It probably is, yeah. I mean, it's just a hair's breadth away from the kind of music that was in 1980s Doctor Who, isn't it? Really.
We should be lucky he didn't just hit that demo button.
Yeah. He sounded exactly like it.
It's all you ever did with those Casio keyboards.
Well, exactly. I mean, you had what, at least 6 or 7 pre-programmed tunes on there.
Yeah.
That's all you need.
Anymore. Yeah.
You don't.
True.
No.
It's true.
Mm-hmm.
So we have a person called Skull, right?
Yes, skull. It doesn't really look like a skull, but
No.
okay.
This person is there and wants Shorty to come in on a scam, right? A fix on the fights. But Shorty just tells the person to clear off.
Mm-hmm. He starts cooking something, doesn't he, Shorty, for him?
Yeah, he does. Yeah.
And this is another instance where I started to sweat because I started to get the Star Wars holiday vibe again. Because isn't there a cooking segment in that? And I thought, oh no, please don't let this go on for too long because this is getting ridiculous now.
I know. No, it doesn't. But there are other scenes that go on for too long.
Yeah, there's one coming on in a minute, isn't there?
I think so. Yeah. So Troy and his assistant, they pummel Steve, right? Because he beat up Vang, so they're getting revenge, I guess. Are they testing him? I'm not quite sure why they're attacking him.
I kind of thought that they were testing him because someone's waiting in the wings.
Yeah, I'll go with that. Now, he gets really seriously beaten, right?
He does, but then he also does that wrestling thing where he comes back at the last minute.
Just at the end, he gets his strength back somehow and turns the table on him. Apparently, Steve can only fight if he's had his ass kicked for a while.
Well, his eggs are getting cold. He actually says that.
Okay, is that the reason? So if your eggs were getting cold, you suddenly turned?
I'd fight for my eggs.
Would you?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. That makes it sound really weird, doesn't it? Like I'm fighting for my eggs, like
it does, yeah.
My egg sack.
Yeah. You should be standing there with a placard.
Exactly. Yeah. Who knows? I might do one day.
You probably would, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Quinn tells Steve that Vang was one of her best fighters.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
She offers Steve a contract. Steve refuses, which is weird because he needs a job. And he needs money, even if he's leaving for Earth. He still needs money. But he's got principles, apparently.
He does, doesn't he? Go into the whole thing of how he trained for like 6 years to be a fighter in the arena, and then realised it was all a bunch of crap and that he couldn't win. Everything was stacked against him.
Yeah.
And she's like, "Why are you telling me all this?"
Yeah, I don't care.
I don't want to know.
It's my business. This you're slagging off.
So here's this is a good moment to bring it up. What do you think of this actor?
He's there.
Do you think that if they could have got someone like Van Damme, for example, who would be the logical choice to do this, would it be better?
That's a tough question.
I don't think it would. Because even though he's not great, this guy, he is, as you say, there, yeah. And sometimes that's more than Van Damme is.
For example, Street Fighter. I don't think he's all there in that film.
He's not all there, no. I just remember we did that one as well, didn't we? We've done a couple of Van Damme movies, really.
Well, you're secretly a Van Damme fan.
That I'm not standing for that.
No, you sat down.
I am sat down. No. I am not a Van Damme fan.
Oh, you're massive. You're always talking about it. In fact, didn't you do a Van Damme film when I was occupied elsewhere?
Oh, yeah, I did, didn't I? So that's 3 Van Damme movies that we've covered on this podcast.
You've done a Van Damme film when I'm not even on the podcast.
That wasn't my choice. That was the guest's choice.
It's always somebody else, isn't it? Always somebody else to blame, right, Paul?
No. I'm starting to feel oppressed now. I have to get my placard out, as you mentioned, and I don't like it. So.
Just own up to your Van Damme love.
I don't love Van Damme.
You do.
I don't. I only own one Van Damme movie.
Oh, that's one more than me.
I own a copy of Universal Soldier.
Okay.
Which weirdly has Dolph Lundgren in it as well. So.
Well, you love him too.
Red Scorpion.
No, thanks. I'm just trying to quit drinking.
We'll keep it going. Yeah. All right. Okay. If you say so, there's no point me arguing with you because I'm not going to win. So
No. Shorty takes Steve to a bar where there is an underground casino because he needs an alternative way to get the money to return to Earth, and Shorty has a plan. And this is where he meets Jade, and he thinks she is lovely.
Doesn't he watch her on a weird holographic thing?
Yeah, she's 3 inches tall and green because it's a bad hologram, and she's like, ooh, she's nice.
Maybe he's got one of those Amstrad 464 green screens that I had back in the day as well.
Maybe,
yeah. This was another instance of me having cold sweats about the Star Wars Holiday Special because there's lots of music interludes in that as well.
There is too. Shorty goes gambling, and this gambling scene just never ends.
It does go on a bit, doesn't it? And it's not even interesting.
No. And then the police raid the casino because apparently it's an illegal casino.
Mm-hmm. And there's a bit of a laser gun fight.
There is, yeah. Shorty pockets some money.
I've got to say that if this came out when I was 10 years old, I was a bit too old when it came out. I'd be having a ball with this movie. It's got aliens fighting people. It's got laser guns going off. It's got loads of like space things and stuff. I'd be loving it.
Yeah. You're not 10 though, are you?
I'm not 10, no. Yeah. that is the problem. There lies the problem, Colin. Yeah.
Prosthetics. Sorry, that's just my safe word.
I wonder whether you're trying to tell me something there, Colin. I mean, all right.
They're not that bad, are they? They're quite good. I like the variety of design in them.
This is the thing for a movie that is low budget. The creature effects are pretty good.
Yeah, there's a good selection.
Mm-hmm. There's a really good one coming up in a little bit, which I really liked. I thought it was excellent. Yeah, I don't have a problem. Of all the things that this movie that I think we're going to have problems with, the creatures aren't a problem at all.
Yeah, I totally agree. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So after Shorty has stolen the money and they kind of split up, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then they meet up again, and Shorty hands over a ticket to Steve. It's a one-way ticket to Earth. That's nice, isn't it?
Well, that's where he wants to go, apparently.
Yeah, he wants to go home.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And they have a drink together. Why can't I get a glass that size anymore? They're huge. These. All right, I did focus on this a little bit too much while I was watching it, but I kept looking at it, thinking, those glass sizes are huge.
But you swig from the bottle anyway, so what does it matter?
Oh, I'm talking about if I go to a bar.
Oh,
if I go to a bar, I don't get a little pint. Need a bigger one than that.
If you go to a bar these days, it costs you so much money. You'd have to mortgage your house.
You're telling me? I live in the south of England, remember?
That's true. Yeah,
mm-hmm.
And your pints are bigger than our pints.
Well, of course. I mean, that goes for most things in life, Colin, doesn't it? Right?
No.
Yeah.
I think you'll be quite shocked.
Oh, bold statements there from Colin. All right.
Bold statements?
Bold statements. Are you still using the cream for that?
Yeah. My hands are incredibly hairy. Rogar knows that Shorty snatched his money. He holds Shorty for ransom, and Steve has to make the money back. He'll say pay off the debt, and he's given 12 hours, or they'll start cutting Shorty's fingers off.
Yeah, Mark Alamo's really auditioning for his part as Gul Dukat here, isn't he?
He is, yeah.
Movie? Yeah.
He's giving it all he's got. So he goes to Quinn and signs a contract with her, and then returns to Rogar and pays him off, freeing Shorty. So that was a quick kidnap, wasn't it?
It didn't really go anywhere, did it? Really?
No, I was like, oh, here we go. He's gonna have to fight and win to get it back. But no, we're not doing that plot line. Okay.
Also, Quinn seems to sleep in a cocktail dress.
Don't you?
Not anymore. I mean, it's too cold at the moment.
Oh,
yeah.
Just in the summer months.
I'll be breaking it out in July. Yeah.
Nice.
But yeah, she's. I'm surprised you haven't mentioned her yet, Colin.
Why?
Well, you usually get to the point where I have to cut something out of the podcast, and it hasn't happened yet.
I do not know what one speaks of.
Oh, exactly. All right, move on. Yeah.
So Steve steps into the arena finally, and he's going to fight Sloth.
Yeah, it's like a big grasshopper alien, isn't it?
Yeah. Because of his strength, Sloth is handicapped to match Steve.
This is the alien that I said I think is the best creature effect in the whole movie. Apart from the fact that it seems to propel itself forward by dragging its ass along the floor.
Well, you do that.
You beat me to that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's also the fact that when Sloth goes to choke Steve, it's clearly Steve lifting Sloth's arm and putting it around his own neck. Because there's nothing in the arms to move.
No,
so it's clearly like Steve just moving his arms around like a guy with a puppet, which is what it actually is.
I kind of like though that because it is a puppet, he's literally punching it.
Yeah, he is punching it. Yeah,
and I think that looks great when he's actually hitting it.
Oh,
because the puppeteers are making it look.
Except
it looks it looks like it's but the head moving and everything, and the way it's reacting. It feels real.
It looks like a guy hitting a puppet.
It is a bit robbery, but I can buy it. I can work with it. It's better than CGI. Let's face it.
Oh well, yes, absolutely. I've not a problem with that. Yeah.
I mean, if this was CGI and it was done now, you'd have the big grasshopper legs leaping it in the air around him, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
And all of that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like this.
We also start to learn that it's a big deal for a human to win the championship again.
Mm-hmm.
And Rogar is watching. And against the odds, Steve wins.
We get some. We even get some slow motion punches, don't we? Like a Rocky movie.
We do.
Yeah.
I did laugh after, like when they're in the locker room and Shorty's attended to Steve's injuries, and he's like, "How do I look?" And I'm thinking, well, actually, pretty darn good considering you just got your ass kicked for a while. He's just got a bit of blood on the little corner of the mouth.
Yeah, I think. Do you think that's probably because, as we said before, this was aimed at kids, so they didn't want to go full on with the fight makeup and things like that?
Probably, yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Rogar turns up and it says Steve signs with him, but Steve refuses. He's signed with Quinn.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Rogar does not take this very well.
He doesn't. No.
Steve's changed his mind about returning to Earth suddenly.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to fight and win the championship. It's a good turnaround, isn't it?
It is. He's come full circle now.
Well, no, he hasn't come full circle, because if he come full circle, he'd be back to wanting to go back to Earth.
Go back to Earth. All right.
Yeah.
What's half a circle?
180 degrees.
That's it, yeah.
At the bar, Quinn chats to Steve, but Rogar and Jade arrive. Rogar introduces Jade to him. Quinn seems a little jealous, right?
Of course she is, yeah. But we'll address this at the end, because there's something about this movie in terms of her and Armstrong's character that I like that they didn't do. Yeah.
All right.
So.
After Jade arrives, Horn arrives, but then, when Jade arrives, Horn usually does.
It does, yeah.
And Horn obviously is I'm going to beat Steve. And then Jade performs a song.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And this goes on a bit.
Oh, boy, does it ever.
All you need in this scene, though, is Gil Gerard, getting down in his tighty whitey spacesuit, don't you, though? I mean...
yeah, but those would be disco and fun. This was
yeah.
Just weird.
It's
and then
like a trudge, isn't it?
Yeah, and it makes me laugh because Shorty then makes Steve leave, and he's like, no, I want to hear the end. And he's like, no, we got to go now. But it ends right after they've left, so he could have just hung on for like 10 seconds.
He could have done. But then again, Shorty gives him an offer he can't refuse. He says, sit down and I'll give you a rub. I mean, with 4 hands, how could you refuse that?
Huh? It would take 4 hands.
Oh, we're back to that again now. Yeah.
So, do they go out and start handing out food packages to the poor, right?
They do. They're doing their little bit for the community, yes.
While they're handing out food packages, Marcus gives him his championship medal, right?
Yeah, because he's the people's champion in everyone's eyes now, isn't he?
Because he won 1 match?
Well, he even does say that, in all fairness to the character. He does say that, yeah.
Yeah. But they're being watched by Skull and Weasel. And then we get a montage, right, of Steve, and he keeps winning his fights.
Yeah, you got to have a fight montage in these movies. Wouldn't be one if he didn't.
That's true. Different types of aliens.
Mm-hmm.
Rogar is forced by the commissioner to give Steve a championship fight. Now Weasel has a plan with Skull. They can fool the handicap system to affect Steve's strength, but breaking into the computer is impossible. Weasel reminds Rogar that if his fighter Horn loses control of the championship fights, he loses control over everything.
Mm-hmm.
These fights are really a big deal. It's hard to figure out how it fits into the world. This whole space station seems to revolve around these fights, right?
Yeah, and I suppose it's being televised everywhere because we've got this TV presenter that we see being talked over everything, don't we? So
Yeah, we do. We do.
yeah, so I'm guessing maybe it's a big galaxy-wide deal. This whole thing.
Universe.
Well, I mean, there seems to be every species of alien under the sun. There's more alien makeups in this movie than there is probably in the first Star Wars movie.
Yeah, I think you could argue that. Yeah. Jade arrives at Steve's sparring match, and then she leaves, but Steve chases after her and she invites him to her place the night before the big fight.
You're not going to mention the big giant lizard guy that he's sparring with?
I wasn't, but go on, you can.
I mean, his whole job seems to be to stand there and get pummeled.
Well, that's what a sparring partner does, isn't it?
But he's got. But he's...
So there's always one person, when there's two of you in something, there's always one of you that has to keep taking the hits, right?
Is that right?
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah.
I didn't realise. Am I your sparring partner? Is that what I am?
You say sparring partner, I prefer to call you Paul Punchbag.
Cool, wow. Do you know what?
What?
Fair enough.
What? Yeah, okay. She offers him a drink, has sex with him.
The lad's on a promise tonight, isn't he?
He is. Well, except for the poisoning bit.
Yeah, but he doesn't know that's coming. He knows other things are coming, but he doesn't know that's coming.
Yep. So, was you going to talk about Shari Shattuck? I got a feeling you were at some point.
Was I?
Because I thought at the beginning of the episode you went, "Oh, we'll talk about her later." I think you said something like that.
Did I? I don't remember that.
Oh,
I mean, she's there. I'd like to talk about the giant water fixture that she seems to have in her apartment. That was good. I like that.
You know you're getting old when there's a beautiful woman on screen and you're looking at the water fixture in the background.
It was interesting. It was an interesting feature in her apartment in this space station that she's got a massive water feature. And that isn't a euphemism for anything.
It's
by the way.
not. No.
She just seems to have one, you know.
I don't, but, it's like when people watch pornography and you get to a certain age when you lose interest in what's going on and you end up craning your head to look at the DVDs that are on the shelf in the background. And then you find yourself getting annoyed because they're not in alphabetical order. And you sit there going, who the heck puts that next to that film? And then you're just like twisting your head, trying to why is Die Hard next to Zulu? That's not right. How are you going to find those films? What's on the shelf? Move out the way. Yeah.
But look, just to reiterate, this isn't you, right? This is just other people.
Oh, that's what I've been told. Yes.
Yeah,
I have a friend. Told me.
Do you? Do you?
I do.
Wow, this is amazing news.
I say friend, I mean Kura.
Oh, I've got one of them. We've all got one of them, Colin, at our age.
Oh,
really.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, it's interesting that you went Die Hard.
Well, every film title. I was going to say Blowout at first, but every title had a different meaning from what I was going for.
Blowout in a porn movie. That's something completely different.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Yeah. Well, I'm looking at the water fixture, so there you go.
Cool.
Mm-hmm. But she can't be trusted, can she? I mean, she's in league with Rogar.
Yes, she is. And back at Rogar's place, he begins to suspect that Jade is falling for Steve when she returns, right?
Yeah, it's an interesting character, isn't it? Because as because he starts off as this serious, menacing bad guy, doesn't he? Or he's supposed to be. But by the end of this movie, he's not that at all anymore, is he?
I guess not. And you also learn that he's not really the big person in charge.
No.
Because he has to do what the commissioner tells him to do.
Yeah.
I just think it's a bit of a turn because you don't really get the feeling that Rogar does love Jade. So it's kind of a weird turn at the end.
It's probably more like he just wants to hang on to her. You know?
Yeah. So it's the day of the fight. Horn arrives.
Yes. He doesn't come out to shouts of horn, horn, horn.
Yeah, those were the days.
Yeah, I know. Tell me about it.
Yeah. There's no sign of Steve, right?
No, he's been drugged.
Yeah, and if he doesn't turn up, he'll forfeit the fight and Horn wins. Han usually does.
Who knew we'd do so many Horn jokes?
I kind of knew.
Yeah, I know.
But Steve does stumble in. They try to help him recover from the effects of the drug and get him back into the ring. Meanwhile, the crowd are getting restless.
Yeah, they want the fight.
They do. So I thought it's funny. Like they obviously they pump him for, I guess, other drugs to overcome the previous drugs. And he gets up, and then Quinn's like, "You need to go out there and fight and be pummeled to death." It's all right for her, isn't it? She doesn't have to go out there.
Well, she's the Mickey character, isn't she? She's got to G him up.
The Mickey was in the drink.
Well, that's true. But yeah, no, I mean, at first he wakes, he comes around and he wants to tear Rogar a new one, doesn't he? But like you say, she convinces him to take it out on the Horn, which is always good advice, really.
Yes, that's going to be the name of your autobiography, isn't it?
Take it out on the Horn. Probably will now. Yeah.
Steve steps into the ring and Rogar activates Weasel's plan to interfere with the handicap system.
Don't you think that this is one of the problems? There's a few problems with this movie, but one of the problems is that for a movie called Arena, it needed more fights.
Oh, you don't think there's enough arena fighting?
I don't think there's enough of it in here. You know, yeah.
Maybe it's because you would have to create more
monsters,
creatures.
Yeah. Yeah. Because even when we get the montage and you see him fighting, you never really see who he's fighting. You get one long shot, which you can't really make out whatever creature he's fighting.
Paper cutouts, that's why.
And then most of the time, the camera's on him, just punching something off camera.
Yeah.
So yeah, it looks like all the money went on the grasshopper and Horn.
Doesn't it usually?
Yeah. That's my new detective series that I'm writing, by the way. Grasshopper and Horn.
Is it?
Yeah. It's got long legs, I think. I think it could go for a while.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, you don't want to jump in too soon. You don't want to jump in too soon. Yeah.
Right.
But, you've got to...
Let me just sit back. Just doze off for a bit. Hold on, I've got a drink here. I'll take this drink while you carry on.
The fact that I dragged it out this long is amazing, really.
It's not amazing.
Not that I'm trying to blow my own horn or anything.
There we go.
But
there we go.
Yeah. One more, just for you, Colin.
Yeah.
I'm done now.
Oh, I thought there was going to be one more. The horn one was
the horn was the last one. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Skull uses the brain to connect directly to the computer.
Which is the only reason why he's got the flashy things on his head.
Yeah. Is it a he?
It feels like a she, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But it is a he.
That's why I was using the, because I wasn't sure.
No, the actor is a he.
Okay. Rogar, it keeps asking Jade if she feels something for Steve. He really wants to know this answer.
Yeah, he's getting stressed, isn't he?
Yeah, she keeps denying it.
Mm-hmm.
Rogar orders Weasel to start the manipulation.
I'm not doing it.
That's the word they use. Steve begins to feel weak, and he gets his ass kicked.
He does. He's getting pummeled by Horn.
He does, yeah. Yeah. Shorty realizes what is going on and heads to the top of the arena where the beams are emitted from. He encounters Weasel and knocks his gun from him, which, funnily, I like this, it falls on Vang.
Yeah, it's him in the face, doesn't it?
Yeah.
He's not having a good time, this guy, is he?
No. He just went to order some food. Got a bit stroppy.
Loses his career.
Yeah, loses his career and then gets hit on the head with a gun.
Yeah. What did he do? Really? Not a lot, really. Yeah.
No. Horn throws Steve out of the ring and he's knocked out and the countdown begins.
He does. Sorry, did you see when he picked him up? Did you see the massive wire that was attached to his belt?
I did, yes. Yeah.
It was rather large, with a huge hook on the end of it as well.
Yep. Shorty knocks Weasel into the computer, which causes it to explode, and a feedback force hits Skull, exploding the head and turning off the handicap beams. Remarkably, recovering Steve gets back into the fight.
Straight away, as well.
Yes. Yeah, he's, Shorty throws Weasel over the veranda, and he plummets to the arena floor. Whilst there is a little upset about a body falling to the ground, nobody seems too concerned. The match carries on.
Well, his name's Weasel.
They don't know his name.
Oh, I get the feeling everyone knows who Weasel is. In this movie.
you think
Yeah.
they saw this body and they're like, oh, and then they looked and went, oh, it's just Weasel.
Yeah. I mean, you say they threw a body over the side. I mean, it was a dummy.
Yeah, it was very much a dummy.
Very much a dummy, but yeah.
Steve knocks Han out and becomes the undefeated champion of the universe.
He does. The crowd goes wild.
Again, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Rogar is defeated. Jade leaves him. And she goes to Steve, but he doesn't want anything to do with her. And Quinn
knocks her
decks
out.
her.
Yeah. See, this is the thing that I was going to mention, that I did like that they didn't. They kept the relationship between Armstrong and Quinn professional. They kind of hint that maybe there's an attraction there from her side, but it never really comes to anything.
No.
You know, and you could say that she just knocks her out because she messed with one of her fighters, and she's been protective of him.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
And the other thing is Rokar. This is where Rokar his character isn't what we thought he was, because he's genuinely like panicking that he's lost everything.
Yes.
And that he can't even hang on to Jade anymore. So
I remember her name there.
Yeah, I couldn't. So there's an effort here.
Yeah, there is.
To do something.
And we finish with our commentator talking about budget blonde Christopher Reeve. He says, "What's in store for this man? Nobody can say. I can. Obscurity."
Yeah. I mean, he got on to have a career, this guy, you know. I looked him up. He's been in, like, pretty much every TV show going over the last sort of 20-odd years.
Yeah, I'm only making fun. He's probably had a very good and happy life and steadily worked all the time.
Yeah.
Never worrying about where he's going to be sitting in the office.
That's true. Yeah, that was a bit personal for you, wasn't it? And let's face it, I despite what you may have said about me and my relationship with Van Damme over this course of this episode, I'd take this guy over Van Damme any day.
Oh, would you?
I would indeed, yes.
Yeah.
All the way.
What about, where does he go in the Dolph Lundgren scale?
Oh, I mean, he's no Dolph Lundgren, obviously. You know.
So he's a sandwich then. He's the meat between Dolph and Van Damme.
And he's way above Steven Seagal, obviously. So
I mean,
most people are. Yeah.
Super Granny's above Steven Seagal.
She's probably a better fighter, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I think so. She doesn't just push people.
Or spray her hair on. Oh, maybe she does these days. I don't know, but...
Yeah. And that, pal, is the end of Arena. So, what did you think of our super futuristic science fiction fighting film?
Like I said, if I was 10 years old, this would be the greatest movie I think I'd have rented that month.
Well, you are mentally 10 years old, so go with that.
All right. Space aliens, fights, laser beams. I mean...
Space aliens compared to what? Urban aliens?
Illegal aliens? I don't know.
Let's not talk about them.
But I mean, on paper, what's not to like?
Mm.
Unfortunately, as we pointed out, neither one of us are 10 anymore.
No.
For a low-budget movie, I mean, there's certainly ambition here, you can see.
Yeah.
A lot of the creature effects and the makeup's pretty good, like we talked about. Claudia Christensen and Armin Shimmerman are probably the best two people in it, performance-wise. The other performances range from phoning it in to barely even awake.
Can I ask who you think is phoning it in?
I think Mark Alamo's phoning it in. He's doing something that he honed later very well in DS9. But in DS9, you never felt that he was phoning it in. Right. Because the material was better. Right. But here he's just playing mustachioed evil guy, isn't he?
Pantomime villain.
Pantomime villain. I mean, the main actor isn't terrible. He's just, as we say, there. You know, it's not the worst performance we've ever seen in a movie.
No.
You know?
No, absolutely not. No. Why do you think they set it on a space station? Because it doesn't really come into play. I guess it just makes it contained, I suppose.
I think so, yeah. And then you
so he can't leave, I suppose.
Yeah, and you don't have to worry about spreading it out further and having other sets, do you? I mean, and let's face it, apart from that arena set, most of the sets in this movie are pretty bland.
Yeah.
A lot of the rooms are empty. that they're
that's
in.
true.
You know,
Except for a water feature.
except for that water feature, I think the money went on that. Apart from the
Yeah.
cricket guy, you know, the dialogue is bad. Ironically, it sounds like it was written by a 10-year-old at times. Like I said, I mean, it needed to live up to its title, and there just wasn't enough action in there for a movie called Arena.
Yeah, it is strange that there's not much fighting in it,
No.
really. And when you do see fighting, it's just close-up punching, but that's probably because of the creatures.
Yeah, no, I can sit and watch a guy punching a rubber creature.
Can you?
Yeah, I can. Yeah, I'm happy to do that, but I want more of it. You know.
Right.
I mean, I didn't hate it.
Right.
I would say I probably quite enjoyed parts of it, but not enough to be a hit, I'm afraid.
Okay. All right.
It kind of felt like a TV pilot.
How would you make this into a show?
I don't know, but the way it ended as well, and it says, "Oh, what's he going to go on to do? Who knows?" But you know, with that newsreader at the end, I mean, it looked like TV. It looked like a TV episode, didn't it?
That's true.
It looked like something that would have been made for television.
Yeah, I can't see how you would though. Like, he fight somebody every week.
Maybe he becomes a fighter by day and a vigilante by night, or not a vigilante, like the Fall Guy. You know, he goes after other aliens who are on the run, who skipped bail or something. If this was an episode of some other show, and it had been worked in like an episode of Buck Rogers or Battlestar Galactica, I think it would have worked better as just like a 50-minute hour episode of something else.
Yeah, if they like you say, Buck Rogers, where he went to a planet and this arena thing,
and he had to become a fighter.
He had to become a fighter too,
yeah,
because it's it's some kind of he's accused of a crime, and this is how they
didn't they do that? I think they might have done that.
Did they?
I think they might have something similar anyway. But yeah, it's got to be a miss, I'm afraid. I'm kind of sorry that it's a miss, but it is.
I'm surprised. I thought you were going to say this was a hit. I was watching this and going, this has got Paul written all over.
I mean, I do own a copy of it, as I say, on DVD. But
I didn't know that at the time. But,
but you know, it's like we always talk about. You know, you can own something and think you like something and you can enjoy it, but then you do it for the podcast and all the flaws hit you and you think it's not really good, is it? I mean, I'm still going to like it in part, but for the podcast, I can't say it's a hit.
All right, so that was going to be my question would be like, are you going to take that DVD and fling it into the garbage, or is it going to stay on your shelf?
No, because I'm sure that I will watch it again at some point, maybe in another 5 years or something. Although, in fairness, I think I've had this DVD for a long time, and I don't think I've watched this movie for over 20 years.
Surprised it worked.
Oh, it did. It really did, yeah. So what about you? I think I know what you're going to say, but...
I mean, you've pretty much summed it up. It's I can't really add more to what you said, really. The special effects are a little ropey in places. I mean, the actual ships and those kind of things. The prosthetics are excellent, I thought.
Yeah.
Really enjoyable,
really
some of them. Like you, I thought it should have more fighting. Some of the acting is a little lackluster.
Mm-hmm.
Same people that you said are the best people in it. I'm surprised I didn't see it back in the 80s. I don't know how I missed it. I rented every other piece of crap in the video store.
Yeah, I'm surprised you didn't see it either, I have to say.
Or maybe I did, and I've just wiped it from my memory.
I think that might be the case, you know.
Yeah, possibly. So for me, it's not a hit. But I have to say, it wasn't an awful experience watching it. It's not. We've seen far, far worse.
Oh, yes, and we will again.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah.
So it's not a hit, but if you like your fighting, fantasy, low-budget movies, and there's nothing else for you to watch,
you could do worse.
It's worth a pump.
Yeah,
pump.
definitely.
worth a pump.
Worth a pump. You're thinking about Claudia Christensen again, aren't you?
Is that a phrase? It's worth a... I can't even... Worth a...
Punt.
Tug?
Punt.
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 Thank you. I can't remember the word.
Worth a tug? Wow. All right.
It's worth a punt.
Yeah, that grasshopper alien.
He is my favourite.
Yeah, I knew it would be.
Yeah. He could make that music with his legs.
rubbing them together.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Start a fire.
Crickets?
No, it's just the way I walk.
Yay, there we go, back in the game.
Well, thank you for listening, and thank you to our Patreon supporters that help keep our old episodes online. And join us next time for another episode of Retrospection. I've been Colin.
And so have I.
Goodbye.
Bye.